Greetings and welcome back. We're still talking about layer styles inside of Photoshop CS5. Now, in the last video, I had a new document onto which I created a brand new layer, and I drew the most amazing stick figure that has ever been. I'm going to grab the Move tool and slide this over a little bit to the edge of my document. The only reason I'm doing that is so that when I bring up the Layer Styles window, we'll have plenty of room for the window to sit and you can still see what's going on. Now in the last video I mentioned very casually that there are a couple of ways to get to the layer style window, but I'm pretty sure I only showed you one, and that was to go under the little FX button at the bottom of your layers panel. The other way to do it is to double click on your layer. Make sure you don't accidentally click on the name. If you do that, you're just going to go into renaming mode, and we could do that. We could name this layer stick figure. But if we move our mouse over here kind of away from the name and double click, we get the layer style window. Now in this video, I'm going to take things very, very slowly. We're going to break this up into several very small videos, and we're going to start by taking a look at the styles area, which is at the very top of the layer style window. Now, all this is a series of presets, if you will. You'll see that all of these have some sort of a name. If you mouse over, you get a very cool tooltip. So we get the double ring glow, we get striped cone, there's even one in here, what's it, puzzle, it's hiding like, there you go, puzzle. Now, all you really have to do is just choose one of these that you want to see and click on it. So there's the puzzle style, and you can see that we get this kind of puzzle pattern all over our layer, or we can do the chrome one, or we can do the, I guess that's the blanket one. It looks kind of horrible. A lot of these actually look a little horrible, excuse me, in the grand scheme of things, but yeah, you can use them for, you know, various things if you just need a really quick effect drop down. Like, to me, that looks like something that you find on a back to school folder in the little kids section of your department store. Anyway, the way this works is that you can create any collection of layer style effects that you like. You can add a drop shadow, an inner shadow, any one of these, any collection of these, as many as you like. And these can all be saved out into a new style. And what you see here when you click on each one of these styles is really just a collection of various settings. For instance, if we click on puzzle, you'll see that what we have actually is a bevel and emboss. So we can go down and check out the settings that are applied to it. And under this bevel and emboss, we've applied a texture, and this texture is being used kind of like a bump map, if you're familiar with the term. If you're not familiar with the term, it basically means that everything that is white on our target pattern image is considered to be raised, and everything that is black is considered to be pushed in or recessed. And so what we end up with is a picture that you see here, and if you look really closely at your screen, if you're following along, it's just an image of puzzle pieces that seems to be seamless. It will tile infinitely, and I can increase the size of that so you can kind of see that a little bit over here, at least inside our little stick figure. And that's being used as a target for our bevel and emboss, so we can get kind of an embossed effect of individual puzzle pieces. It's a neat effect, but again, all that is a preset that was already saved out, and we can click on any one of these styles and get some sort of similar effect. As you're working with layer styles and getting used to them, you can at any point jump back up here to this little tab and click on the new style button. You can give your style any name that you like, so this could be, you know, my cool amazing style of super drop shadow awesomeness, which I suppose would be kind of a long name, but you could do it, and then click OK, and you'll have that style for whenever you want at the touch of a button, which is very, very cool. If there are other styles that you have access to somewhere on your hard drive, and there are several that actually come along with Photoshop, for instance, if you come over here to this little black arrow, there are several glass button styles that you can bring in. And when you click on this, is do you want to replace the current styles with the ones from glass buttons? And goodness knows we could, because a lot of these styles are pretty horrible, but we'll click on append anyway. And so now we have several different glass buttons to choose from, straight out of a box. Now, I'm not going to say these are the best looking glass button styles ever, but they get the job done. And if you need something right now and you don't want to spend a lot of time on it, they can be pretty useful. So for instance, if I needed something like a glass button, we could grab, say, our little rounded cube here, and I'll set the radius really high. Let's say like a 25 pixel radius on our rounded button. I'm sorry, rounded box. And if you want to create a rounded rectangle here, you can click on whatever shape happens to be under your black arrow tool, and you'll see rounded rectangle. It's the second one down. So if this was previously the rectangle tool or the polygon tool or anything else, just switch it over to rounded rectangle and set the radius up. And then we can just kind of click and drag out. I'm going to go back into my layer styles by double clicking. And we'll go back up to our styles area, and I'll make this a purple glass button. And there you have it. Now again, by modern web standards, maybe not the most gorgeous glass button you've ever seen, but if you need something right now and you don't want to spend a lot of time on it, especially if you're just kind of roughing in a design and you know that you're going to need something like a glass button there, then there's certainly one way to go about it. So that is a quick look at the styles area of our layer style window. Other things I want to point out before we run away is obviously you've got an OK, which is kind of a commit button. You've got cancel. We've seen the new style button. You can choose whether or not you want to preview the result of your style. And you can see that's just turning off that effect over inside our document. And then you have a little tiny preview area here that is going to show you roughly what your style should look like. It's like a little thumbnail that is available at all times while you're working with your various styles. So every so often it's a good idea to kind of glance at that and see what you're coming up with, though admittedly I don't think I ever do that. I try my best to keep an eye on what's actually going on in the document and make changes from there. So that wraps up the styles section of the layer style window. Thank you very much for watching.